Like I mentioned, it's free on the $35 copay plan, the $900 deductible plan, and only $45 on the HSA plan. If you have an iPhone or Android, we do have a mobile app. So if you type in My HP in the App Store, you can download our mobile app. From there, you'll be able to see your deductible amounts, your out-of-pocket amounts. You can do that same provider comparison on your mobile app. You can even pull up your member ID card. So if you ever need it, you're at the chiropractor and you don't have yours or your kids, maybe your wife carries your medical ID cards, you can actually pull it up right on your phone. And with that, I'll turn it over to Select Account.
Thank you. So, I am going to now get a little bit more in depth on the HSA and the FSA account so that you guys can see how that may work with the high deductible plan and given the comparisons. The health savings account is a financial account, so it's a little bit different than most of the other accounts. This is an account that is owned by you. So it works with that HSA, that $2,700 high deductible plan specifically, but it is, once those monies go into the HSA account, those monies belong to you and can be spent the way you see fit. They can't be taken back. So you can also add to pre-tax payroll. So Katie did a really nice job in comparing is if you moved up into the high deductible plan, that difference in premium costs would be money that you would have taken pre-tax from payroll to put into the account. So you get savings right off the bat. It can help you pay for medical expenses now, and again, the HSA account rolls over from year to year. Because it's a financial account, it does earn interest. So any interest earnings in the account, so when we're talking about the total savings of the year that Katie kind of illustrated, did not include any interest payments on that account. So you could add a little bit of dollars to that to kind of see where that would land. So again, even gets you a little bit more ahead. It is not a use it or lose it, rolls over, and you keep this money again because it's an account owned by you. If you change jobs, if you retire, whatever the case may be, this money follows you. And you can earn anywhere from 10 to 40% on taxes on a pre-tax based on your tax bracket. So how it works is you must enroll in the high deductible plan. You cannot be dependent on somebody else's taxes, and you can't have any other coverage that's not an HSA qualified plan. So if you're thinking about this might be something that you'll need to look at is if you're covered by a spouse's plan, if you're covered by your spouse's FSA, things to look at. If you are enrolled in Medicare or have other coverage such as TRICARE, also doesn't allow you to put money into a health savings account. It does not preclude you from taking the higher deductible plan. You just wouldn't have the account that goes with it if you went that route. But if you look at what you can set aside, the IRS allows you to set aside for a single policy $3,450. So if you think about that deductible of $2,700, so if you went a little bit more than just a premium difference or a little bit more, you would absolutely have money left over based on that deductible. And for family, it is $6,900 allowed. Now, you are getting a contribution from the county, so whatever you're going to put into the HSA will be less that amount. So on a single policy, you would subtract $1,300 because they're contributing that on your behalf. So that then you have to put in even less into the account. We do provide a debit card to help you pay for claims, and I'll show you how that works. Or you can always submit bills for reimbursement on our website. So once you have that service and the health plan has determined what your out-of-pocket is, they get that discount, they apply it to your deductible. That cost then ends up being your responsibility, can be paid for by a debit card. Or I do have some folks that sort of save multiple services up, and then they'll make a larger online withdrawal maybe. I have a lot of people doing that right about now, October, November-ish. They saved up all their claims this far and they use it for Christmas money. They've already paid their bills. And so you have a lot of flexibility as far as when and how you access your account. We talk about it being used, and all the scenarios we used has been specific to paying for just things that go through your health plan. So your office visit, or if you hurt your knee, or those types of things. But there are other things that the HSA is qualified to pay for. So anything that runs through your health plan, your out-of-pocket, your co-insurance, your prescription drugs, automatically are eligible out of the account. However, the health plan expenses, you can also use it for your dental care, your vision care, orthodontia, if you have kids with braces. And once you turn age 65, you can actually use it to pay your Medicare premiums. So there's some benefit in accumulating these funds over a period of time so that you have money later. So all those little dollars, that $335 that Katie pointed out, if that rolls over year, that could be money in retirement that helps you pay for some premium costs. It cannot be used to pay for anything that the IRS deems as not medically, not a medical claim. But it can pay for over-the-counter medicine with the prescription, but you do need to get that prescription. And I'll use myself as an example, as I have allergies, and my allergies are different in the spring than they are in the fall. So I take 2 different over-the-counter meds. I have a prescription that simply says over-the-counter allergy medication for the rest of my life. I got it 6 years ago. I keep a copy of it in each of my tax files, and I am able to then run Claritin, Zyrtec, or whatever it is I may need for that season through my HSA, which is savings for me. You can also run supplements through the account as long as there's a medical need and your doctor has written, and we have a form for that. If you are taking a supplement for some sort of condition, glucosamine is one I see a lot, which is for pain and inflammation. So you might get a letter for supplement, and then you can actually run those things through the account. And then it cannot pay for any other health insurance premiums other than Medicare. If you elect COBRA, you leave employment, elect COBRA, or if you take a policy while you're receiving unemployment insurance. So it does have some benefits for some premiums when you leave employment, but it does not pay for supplement plans. So from a long-term strategy goal, it will help with your Medicare, but it will not pay for that supplement policy. We talked about the account bearing interest. It's a kind of average bank interest rate, but it does pay monthly. You do have the option once you accumulate $1,000 or more to actually invest the monies much like you would invest a 401k. So anything over $1,000 can be invested into a basic investment account, but there are over 30 mutual fund options there if you're a person who likes to invest. Again, earnings on the investments are also tax-free. So you can get a little bit more bang for your buck if you're willing to go out and do that. And then once you have $10,000 or more, and you'll be surprised how quickly that happens. You actually do have the option then to invest in the open market, much like you would a standard 401k. And so again, a nice benefit, absolutely optional, but it gives you that ability to maybe earn a little bit of extra on the dollars that you're putting into your HSA. So again, more than 30 mutual funds. All our Morningstar reports and prospectuses can be linked at selectaccount.com if you're interested in that. So, and then you do receive a quarterly investment statement if you do that. You have access to this information at any point in time on our website, but you are provided those things if you are meeting, say, for example, with a tax advisor on a regular basis. They may want to look at your performance and whatnot. So there are, again, some very, very good tools if you're into the investment side. So that's essentially the HSA, and again, that pairs specifically with the high deductible plan. Washington County also offers a flexible spending account. And that is an expense account where, again, you can set aside tax-free dollars to help you pay for out-of-pocket items on any of the medical plans. This is not specific necessarily to, but it can work with any of the 3 plans. And it will help you pay for qualified medical or dependent care expenses. So again, you set aside this money pre-tax, and again, it will save you that anywhere from 10 to 40%. The average that I see in tax savings usually runs about 25 to 30 for most folks that we've done the calculation for. But how this works is you estimate next year's expenses. So when you're using the tools that Brian mentioned, kind of look at what it is you think you're going to spend on one of those plans, and if you were to take that, that would help you determine how much would be good to set aside in an FSA to help you pay for those expenses. It is taken out in equal amounts throughout your paycheck, but the medical account, those dollars are available day one. So if you set aside $1,200 for the year, that money is available on January 1 for you to spend. So there is some advantage of that in either of the plans to have that money available right away if you know you have to have a service very early in the year. But only estimate what you think you're going to use, because it is a use it or lose it. So if you do not spend this money for some reason, it is forfeited. So it is real important to look at those tools and make sure that you're not setting aside more than you're going to spend in any given year. In the medical FSA, you can set aside up to $2,600. And that $2,600, again, available on on day one, and it is a household, or not a household, it is a per account limit. So if you do a flexible spending account and you have a spouse who also does a flexible spending account, you actually can both do up to $2,600, which might be advantageous if you do have kids with braces. I see folks doing that where both of them might actually take flex dollars. The dependent care account, which is for your dependent daycare expenses while you're working or if you care for an elderly parent, can be up to $5,000, but that is a household limit. So if you have a spouse that also has this available, you cannot exceed $5,000 between the two accounts because it is a household limit. So again, and then claims in the, there's debit card available for the FSA. Claims for the dependent care are made online. They're very, very easy. They can be done from a mobile device even, and they then pay out as money is taken from your check. So qualified expenses without an HSA account. So if you do this on one of the first two $900 plans, the $35 copay or the $900 plan, it is an open access FSA, full purpose, so it can pay for any of those same services that the HSA could pay for, anything that runs through your health plan, your copays, your co-insurance, your prescription drugs. Again, also pays for vision and dental care. Again, same rules as the HSA here as well, as far as prescriptions for over-the-counter medication or supplements if you have a medical need for them. It will never, however, pay for insurance premiums, where the HSA does have that advantage if you leave employment. So if you do take the high deductible plan and you set aside dollars in an HSA account, the FSA has to work a little bit different because the FSA, if it allows for medical, will disqualify you from the HSA. So we actually do something to it to make it you eligible for the HSA account, is it can be used only for your vision and dental expenses, and dental does include orthodontia. So while I don't see a lot of people pairing the two accounts together, if you know you've got everybody in your family wears glasses, for example, you might want to set aside dollars for that so your HSA dollars get preserved and roll over. Same with orthodontia, very, very common with orthodontia. For folks who have that ortho contract, well, the HSA will pay for that. You might want to save that for future medical and use an FSA today for those contractual dollars for the orthodontia. So again, same expenses that are precluded from the FSA. So, and then dependent care expenses, just a couple things. Again, dependent care is specifically for you to get care for a child up to age 13, or if you're caring for an elderly parent that cannot be left alone while you're working. It will pay for licensed daycare, preschool, after-school programs, in-home care services, elder care, and that can be in your home or in a facility if that's what you're got going on with your elderly parent. And it will pay for day camps, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's becoming a little bit more common. Folks who don't need care during the school year are kind of okay there, but might set aside dollars specifically for summer and do some of those day camps. As long as it's not reading, writing, or arithmetic, it cannot be educational in nature. So math camp does not qualify, but computer camp does. That's the IRS for you. But I have a woman who sets aside, and has been for a couple years now, for both her girls to go to volleyball camp in the summer. Which is a 2-week program for them, and it's a day camp. So that is, instead of going to a preschool, she sends them there, and that qualifies. It does not pay for tuition, school lunches or food, school activity fees, which are generally separate than your before and after school care, and it does not pay for any overnight camp. So again, it is specific to day camp. So once you're enrolled, if you've already got an account with us, you've got to select account ID number. If you're going to be brand new with a HSA or an FSA, you will receive that in the mail from us. You will use that number to register to our website so that you can manage the dollars in your account. See where you're spending, see how much interest you're earning. If you're investing, you can do that. All of those types of things. So you register at our account. You also, in a separate mailing, will receive a debit card if you do not already have one. If you do already have one, that debit card will continue to work until it expires, at which point we will automatically issue you a new one. So those are things to watch for is once you've enrolled. We will, by January 1st, have a mobile app. While our website is entirely mobile enabled, you can get the whole site from your phone or mobile device. We will have an app for those real quick hit things that'll be a little bit quicker for you. You'll be able to set a PIN to it instead of your whole password, and you'll be able to get into it real quick to see the most common things, your balance, check on your claims, scan and upload receipts if you need to, those types of things. And again, you can make claims on our site if you choose not to use the debit card. So it is, again, very, very convenient. So watch for those items in the mail. Again, the mobile app will be able to do everything, or those real quick items, so keep an eye out for that. Again, upload receipts. You can request additional cards. If you have other family members who need access to the account, you're going to get a card in your name. But say if you need a spouse who handles the medical bills in your family, you can order a card. There is no charge for any additional cards on the accounts. So, and our customer service team, I did meet with them last week, is aware of your benefits once I got this information, so that if you need help making a decision or walking through any of the scenarios that you're looking at, our customer service team is available and ready to answer questions should you give them a call. And there's a wealth of information on our website that goes much, much deeper into some of the scenarios and calculators and tax savings and those types of things if you're weighing your decision back and forth. So.
Good morning, I'm Sherry Meyer. I'm with NFP, and I'm going to just finish up here and go over the other benefits. We spent a lot of time on your medical, but this is open enrollment for your other benefits that are available. Your voluntary dental plan, still offered through Health Partners. There's going to be no changes this year. Just as a reminder, that plan has a 2-tier benefit level, so depending on which provider you go see will determine the level of benefits. We did receive a 1.7% increase this year in your dental plan, but we did secure a rate cap for 2019. So in 2018, you'll see those rates jump up to 1.7%, and the rate cap received was 4.5% for 2019, not to exceed. Just a couple of reminders on your dental plan that you can take advantage of. If you do have kids under 12, they do have free preventive care. So you can get them out in the doctor, as soon as you want to, and there's no charge for that, no deductible charge, no co-insurance. In addition, there is extra dental care if you need it for preventive cleanings if you are pregnant or if you are a diabetic. Those two conditions, your teeth can be very sensitive during that time, so it's important to get some extra dental care if you need it. Therefore, it's covered at 100% by Health Partners. The next plan is your voluntary vision plan. We rolled this out a couple of years ago, and again, if you haven't signed up in the past and you're interested, now is the time to do so. There's no changes to the plan. The rates are going to stay exactly the same. It's relatively inexpensive for someone to enroll in vision care and provide you benefits if you have to purchase glasses or you have contacts and so forth. And then lastly, you have your life and disability insurance. You have a base life insurance plan that's paid for by the county, as well as long-term disability. You also have the option to purchase voluntary life insurance for you, your spouse, and or your children. And again, as Katie mentioned, one change to the voluntary life is that children can now stay on through up to age 26. In the past, it was limited to age 19, or if they're a full-time student, up to age 25. But now that's going to go hand in hand with the medical plan up to age 26. Again, if you want to increase your short-term disability insurance, now is the time to do so. If you currently have short-term disability insurance and you're not at your maximum amount allowed, you can increase by $100 per week with no questions asked. If you'd like to enroll for the first time and you're not a new hire, or if you would like to increase more than the $100, you will need to complete an evidence of insurability. That's the same for the voluntary life insurance plan. If you wanted to add voluntary life for yourself or your spouse or your children, or increase it, you will need to complete evidence of insurability. So just to finish up, as a reminder again, your open enrollment time frame is November 1st through November 15th. And as Katie said, you enroll through self-service. And everyone should go out and actively enroll this year with the new system coming on board. They want to make sure they have all of the information captured. And your 2017 enrollments will not roll over. So it's important, people who don't attend to these meetings, please get the word out there to let them know they do need to absolutely go out on self-service. And if you do have any questions, you can always contact the benefits hotline or email the HR department. With that, we will open it up to questions for any of us at this point. Questions? Yes.
For the select account, you had mentioned that the flex spending is use it or lose it. Has that changed? Last couple of years, we were roll over $500 unused dollars over the years. That change that Washington County's made this year that we got rolled in over? Or?
The question is, in the past, you've had a rollover amount on your flexible spending account, and that has been discontinued. No, it hasn't. It's still in there. Okay.
Flexible spending account, the FSA, we will still allow a $500 rollover.
That's on FSA and Unlimited Health, FSA?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Good question. Other questions?
I think I missed the first part, but like now I'm paying like $85 for each time I go for different course. If I sign up for it, so how much am I going to pay as a visit?
So the per visit amount on the HSA will be dependent on where you go to get your care. But you will not have a copay anymore. You will have the cost of the actual office visit. So if you were to go to Virtuwell, it would be $45. If you go to convenience clinics, it would be around $100. If you go to the office, it could be $100 to $150, depending on where you get your care.
I have a dependent who's aging out this next year, so if I want to have her covered for a certain part of the year, and then, how does that work? Do I have to fill something out once she turns 26, or?
Nope. So what will happen is, say you enroll employee plus children, and it's just you and a daughter. We'll say a daughter. And daughter turns 26 in July. You'll have employee plus child care all the way through the end of July, and then beginning in August, you'll have employee only. Your daughter will just drop off.
So that happens automatically?
Automatically. With that being said, that $1,700 that we give you in January, we won't take that money back. We won't drop you down to the single contribution rate. That money is still yours. That's that $1,700.
If I switch from the high deductible plan to the $35 copay plan, what happens with any leftover limited healthcare fund spending? And then does the HSA account just stay active? I'm assuming I can't use it while I'm on the $35 copay plan.
So if you're in the high deductible health plan in 2017, and then in 2018 you want to go to the $35 copay plan, is that your question? Okay. So any dollars that you have in your HSA, they're still your dollars, and you can spend them for whatever care expenses that you have in 2018.
You can spend those in the HSA even if you're on the $35?
Yes. Those dollars stay yours. They're still limited to qualified medical expenses, but they're still your dollars.
Okay, so in that scenario, if I have leftover limited healthcare flex spending, and I'm on the $35 copay, I can always use that limited healthcare flex spending what was just bigger than that.
Correct. All right, well, if there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Please be sure to sign in so you get your Wellness Win credit, and be sure to open enroll so you can get your second Wellness Wins credit.